Hello, are we live? Let me just check to make sure I am live on the page and then I can see your comments.
Hello.
You guys, this is such an honor to be here, taking over Carolina Pottery's page for a little bit. Welcome. If you do not know who I am Julie Siomacco, and I am taking over Carolina Pottery's page for just a little bit. We're going to be crafting in my wreath shop. We'll be crafting a deco mesh summer wreath, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and put the link here so that if any of you want to purchase the same supplies, they have an online store. You could purchase there. So as you're coming in, tell me, what are you making this weekend? Are you making anything fun for Mother's Day? Are you getting ready for Mother's Day? Do you have plans? What are your plans for this weekend? Comment below and tell me. I said we have a few people coming on. Yay! So tell me where you're from. I'd always like to hear where people are from. It's just the magic of Facebook Live, isn't it? Where people from all over the world can join in on the crafting fun. Tell us where you're from, and also what plans for the weekend. I know it's Mother's Day, right? It's Mother's Day weekend. We all have plans, so make sure you treat yourself this Mother's Day though too. I did myself. I went shopping at Carolina Pottery and I bought a few things for my porch and a few things for my front door. So let's see, comment, tell me where you're from. For some reason, I can't really see the comments, so maybe there's an issue with the comments, which sometimes happens. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. Y'all ready to craft? Yay, hey Deborah, now I see comments. Deborah from Michigan is here, awesome. All right, so I've got the link on here if you're interested in the supplies, and I think we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna zoom in just a tad bit more because I know you'd rather see the project than my face. Let's talk about the supplies that we're gonna be using for this wreath. We're gonna be using a work wreath form, and oh, well, there's my alarm to tell me to don't forget to go live. How funny is that? So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the supply list. And they're also on the link right there, okay? So this is a 24-inch work wreath form. So if you're new to deco mesh wreaths, which, by the way, are hugely popular, so popular, they make it very easy to make with these work wreath forms right here. They've got all of these twist ties already added. All you have to do is open them up. I tell people all the time, if you can tie a bread twist tie, right, on your loaf of bread, you pretty much can make a deco mesh wreath. Because all you're gonna do is twist it in, twist it in. So I'm just gonna prep this real quick. So this is a 24-inch work wreath form, and the color of, this is a burlap color, which is neutral, and it will look good for everything. So we've got our 24-inch work wreath form. We also have some greenery. I love this greenery. It's very airy. So we're gonna incorporate this into the wreath. It's got a lot of different texture on it and just a really pretty green. And then we've got these really pretty, what are they calling these? Petunia bushes. It's a petunia bush in the bright yellow. So this is going to be very vibrant on your wreath. It's going to be so pretty up against this neutral mesh. And then let's see, what else do we have? We're going to be using our sign. So this is the inspiration for our project today. How cute is that? So cute. Just a little black and yellow theme going on right there. So this is our inspirational piece right here. And then we have our 21-inch burlap mesh. So you guys, Carolina Pottery has all of these different colors of the mesh. They've got 10-inch, and then they've got the 21-inch, and I'm loving the burlap on burlap look, and then a pop of yellow and black. I just love that. I think it's gonna be super fun. So we're gonna put this on there, and we have two These are 2.5-inch ribbons. We've got 2 different textures and colors. So we've got the burlap, which will look really pretty with our burlap theme, and then we've got our bumblebee, which is going to look amazing on with our polka dot sign. And then we've got this vibrant yellow right here, so that matches with our bumblebee. Just trying to show you my coloring and how I choose my supplies when I go shopping at Carolina Pottery. So first I find my focal piece, and then I'll find my frame or the base of what the background is going to look like, making sure this pops. And then I start to incorporate my ribbon colors, and then I'll find my flowers and greenery. So we're also going to need 1.5-inch ribbon right there. And again, if you're just joining me, you can find the supply list right here on their website. All right, so we've got 2 1.5-inch ribbons, and we've got 2 2.5-inch ribbons. The tools that you're going to need, not very many tools, and most of you already have these at your house. Scissors, some wire cutters, and I am going to use a heavy-duty staple gun for this project, and I've got a couple pipe cleaners. You guys ready to get started? Hi, Christy. How are you? Hi, Terry. All right, so let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to put this over here. The first thing I'm going to do is prepare my sign. I'm going to turn it over. You guys, this sign is only $3.99. That is a deal. A deal and a steal, for sure. There's nothing like crafting, you guys, is there? So relaxing. Perfect project for Mother's Day, if you ask me. That to me is a perfect Mother's Day weekend. Nothing but crafting, am I right? So the first thing I want to do is fold up some ribbon. I'm just going to fold up a little piece just like this. I don't know, it's like 2 inches. And the reason I'm going to do this is just to build up my sign a little bit more so that my staple doesn't go through the front, because it's a, what is that, probably not even maybe a 1/4 inch thick. And I just don't want my staple to go through it. So I'm building up just a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and staple my pipe cleaner right there, and it's going to be loud. Told you it's loud. So now it doesn't go through the front. So I'm just taking the time to build it up just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little hot glue on the front, on the back. Just going to put a little hot glue right here. If you, I'm using my glue pan just because I make a lot of wreaths and it's just quicker for me to use a glue pan, but you can absolutely use your glue gun just to put a little hot glue right there to help hold those staples in. Not necessary, but I like to be cautious. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is just put this out of the way, and we're going to let that cool and get hard while we put our mesh on our wreath base. Hi, Miss Jan. Hi, Mary. You guys, Carolina Pottery has several locations, probably one near you, maybe one near you. I forget. There's a lot of people from across the country on here. I know I've got one right in my back door, which I love. They have several locations located Smithfield, North Carolina. They've got Augusta, Georgia. Also Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Let's see, where can I put that? So 4 locations, but online too, which I love. Who's sneaking the video during lunch? I just love that. I love doing lives at lunch because everybody's like, sneaking at work. Hi, Susan. All right, so this is a burlap mesh. Mesh holds up really well outside in the weather. All of the materials that I'm using are weatherproof, so you can make this for your outdoor wreath. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go slow. So for those of you who have not made a wreath before, you can see what I'm doing. All I'm doing is opening up the twist ties on our work wreath form, and then we're going to twist. Hey Jennifer. And then if you're going to measure, if you have a ruler at home, you could use a ruler. I use my mat sometimes and measure out approximately 10 inches. And then we're going to just put it on the next set of twist ties. Brenda, I have not been in the Augusta store. I've been in the Myrtle Beach store, and I've been in Carolina too many times to count. I mean, the Columbia one, too many times to count. Like, it's my home away from home, really. Matt, yes, it's Friday. You need to enjoy this. Take some time off. Take a break. You have my permission. So you see I'm just working it around. The other thing you could do is just, if you want to measure, instead of using a ruler or your mat, you can measure by skipping one set of twist ties and just going to the very next set. And that way you'll pretty much know that all of your loops are going to be about the same. So this is what we call the poof method for deco mesh wreath making. And once I put the loop, once I've secured into the twist tie, all I'm going to do is just take my hands and just poof it out a little bit. Hence the word poof wreath. So if you're just joining us, the work wreath form is 24 inches. It's got 18 twist ties, I believe. Yes, 18. The beauty of this work form is that you can make a 24-inch wreath, or you can make really a 30-inch wreath. Just depends on how large you want to make your poofs. So I've made my poofs up to 14 inches wide and as small as 8 inches. So that's the beauty of this deco mesh wreath style, is that you control the size that you want based off of the poof or the length of the poof. So Brenda is going to do herself a solid, and she's going to the Augusta store tomorrow. Girl, you gonna buy some Mother's Day stuff for yourself? That's what I did. They have a huge selection of rugs and the outdoor cushions. So I treated myself and did a whole porch makeover. And that was my Mother's Day gift to myself. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay shopping for myself for Mother's Day. And I'm sure the Hubs is too. He's like, well, I don't have to worry about it. Brenda lives an hour from both. Oh, so she's got the luxury of going to two different kinds. Two different store locations, I mean. How awesome is that? So again, they have the colors in different colors. So if you didn't want the burlap, which, you know, burlap is so popular, and it's a neutral color, so you can add any pops of color that you want, like hot pink, it could be purple, whatever color you like, you can change this and make it your own. So let me show you. I've gone all the way around the inner ring. So these were the inner twist ties. I've gone all the way around. Now I want to do the outer ring, the outer set of twist ties. To do that, I'm just going to take my, instead of making another loop, I'm just going to make myself a little bridge by taking this and then securing it to the bottom set of twist ties and securing. And now I'm going to continue on around the wreath the same length, 10 inches. Here is there's the link for the craft demo that we're doing right now. So if you want to purchase supplies, let's say you're not able to get into the Carolina Pottery this weekend, you can purchase online. Brenda, I would love for you to come hang out with me too, girl. That would be fun. We'd get a lot of crafting done, wouldn't we? Jan's getting new cushions for her front porch. So I was just looking on the Carolina Pottery's website. They have a lot of rug selections for the outdoor area. Welcome, Amy. Welcome, Linda, to the party. So again, we're just working on our frame, working around the bottom portion of our deco mesh wreath, measuring, attaching, and poofing. Once you learn to master this, your neighbors are going to be wanting you to make one for them. All your church friends. And if you make a wreath, make sure, if you make a wreath using these supplies, make sure to come back here on the Carolina Pottery page and post a picture of it. We love to see how people get crafty. Hi from Maine and Illinois, West Virginia. Oh, Lisa, you don't fall short. You're just learning. There's times when, listen, when I started making wreaths, there were times when I didn't like what I made, but then everybody else loved it. So sometimes I think we're our own worst critic. Don't be afraid to just get started. It's really all about the journey, isn't it? The fun of it. Not necessarily the outcome. All right, so here we are. We're where we started on our outer ring, and all I'm going to do is untwist that. Remember, it was holding down the little bridge, and I'm going to put in our last loop. So we've gone all the way around the inner ring of the wreath frame, and we've gone all the way around the outer ring of the wreath frame. So let me just give you a little quick under the skirt look of the wreath, meaning behind it. You can see that it's slightly elevated. So the inner ring is higher than the outer ring. So what that's going to do is it's going to make a thicker wreath for you. It's going to make your wreath be a little more, have that dimension on your door. So I love working with these work wreath forms, which Carolina Pottery has several colors. And they also have all of the dimension that you need already there. All right, so now I'm going to flip it back over, and I am going to start working on the middle ring, which you're like, wait a minute. I didn't see any middle ring twist ties. That's right, there's not any middle ring twist ties, but we're gonna go ahead and do is add one more layer just to give it a little bit more thickness and density right here. I mean, you have all this mesh, you might as well use it up, right? All right, so all we're gonna do is just the same thing. I'm gonna do the outer ring, and I'll turn it around to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to do the outer ring, and when I do, I untwist right here. So I've got the twist ties holding in our loop that we've already done, and I'm just going to untwist, make a little loop, and then lay it on there. It's a little hard to do from this angle. So we're going to lay it on there, and then twist it back. So that's what I mean. I'm just going around the outer loop again, adding one more loop. And don't forget to fluff. So Brenda says sometimes she's making and she doesn't like it, so she has to hang it up and step back. Yes, I do that too. When I'm making something, especially if I have a white door that I call the white door check. I just put it on that white door, stand back and look at it. If you don't have a white door, you could just hang it anywhere, and then sometimes I just take a photo of it on my phone, and then when I look at it on my phone, I can say, oh, I don't know what I was thinking. There's a hole right there. Again, here is the link for the supplies. Now, this greenery, so greenery is very hard to come by. And this greenery, I have already bought several bags of it because I just love the texture. I'll show you what I'm talking about when we get there. So this to me is the step where you can really be watching your favorite Hallmark movie and be crafting at the same time. So that's double win. We're just about all the way around. Hey, Tim. Alright, so now I've gone all the way around. So we've gone, just to recap, or if you're joining us late, we have added 10-inch loops to the inner ring, and we have added 2 rings of 10-inch loops to the outer ring. And now what I'm going to do is just pull this about 3 inches from the wreath. Let's say 5, not 3. And then we're going to trim it off the roll. So there's a little bit more on here if you wanted to make a bow for your mailbox. You could do that. You could incorporate it into another wreath if you want. So you're just going to trim that up and then put that to the side. And this little tail that we've cut from our mesh, I'm just going to tuck it in here, out of the way. There we go. So right here is the base of your wreath. And imagine this in another color. So imagine this in hot pink, imagine this in yellow, imagine this in purple. They have all of the different color meshes and all the different color work wreaths. Don't forget, you can also mix the colors. So if you have a pink work wreath form, you could do a purple mesh, or if you have a yellow work wreath form, you could do a hot pink mesh. So the beauty of these work wreath forms are to be incorporated into the design, so don't be afraid to switch it up. Cheryl, if you want to watch the replay, you can, and it goes step by step, but basically I added the mesh onto the work wreath form with 10-inch loops. First the inner ring, and then we went around twice to the outer ring. After the video is over, Cheryl, you'll be able to come back to the Carolina Pottery page and then watch from the very beginning, so you haven't missed anything. All right, so now we're going to do the ribbon. All right, we've got our ribbon. and I've cut it in 14-inch strips. Right here. So the only thing I've done is I lay it out, measure 14 inches and cut, and then fold it in half, right? And then I fold it in half again. And then I cut on an angle where the folded line, the folded fabric is. So I've just cut on an angle like that. And what that does is it puts a pretty finished dovetail edge to the ribbon. So I've done that for all of the ribbon. I've cut 9 strips. So we've got 9 strips of the 1.5 inch mesh. And then we've got 9 strips of the 2.5 inch, I'm not mesh, ribbon, 2.5 inch ribbon. 2.5 inch ribbon, 1.5 inch ribbon. All right, so we've got 9 of these cut 14 inches long. And let's talk about the color on this just a little bit. The reason I've added a little bit of yellow, I'm going to pair these up. And when I pair these up, I'm going to try to mix the color up a little bit. So I'm going to add the black on top of this yellow versus adding the yellow on top of the yellow. Then you're just going to have pops of yellow. So I liked mixing up the colors just a little bit so that it has a variation. And you'll see when I add it to the wreath that it just is going to disperse the color all throughout the wreath. Now, if you don't want to use 4 styles of ribbon, you don't have to. I could have easily done the whole wreath out of this, or I could have done the whole wreath out of this color combination. But I do like adding ribbon. To me is my love language. I just am a ribbon hoarder, and Carolina Pottery helps feed my addiction to ribbon. All right, so what I'm going to do is just add these to the wreath. Once I add them to the wreath, just like this, I'm going to separate the pieces by forming an X. So Cheryl, the last go round with the mesh, all I did was untwist the outer ring ties and added in another loop. So now I'm going to skip and switch up. And make an X. And then just keep alternating. You're welcome, Cheryl. Barbie's making a burlap mesh using coral, which is the color of the year, if you didn't know. Coral is hugely popular. Plus, it's just a fun summer look, isn't it, coral? It just really pops off the door. Just like this yellow is. So if you are into making your fun favorite school colors, you know, you could easily make a school wreath with a deco mesh. So we've got I know some schools are the yellow and black here locally, and you could just make a wreath for your door to show your graduate that you're thinking of them. So it's easy. This is a versatile wreath that you can use for different seasons. I've made them for summer, I've made them for Easter, I've made them for Christmas, fall. are some fun themed wreaths that you've seen this year besides the bumblebees? So the burlap mesh that I'm using is $9.99 on their website, which is one of the lowest prices I've ever seen with the burlap mesh. And it never stays in stock. It never does. They always sell out. So I would definitely snatch up some burlap mesh if you love the mesh burlap background color. Again, you can add anything on top of it for any theme, any holiday. So Barbie's seen ladybug themed wreaths, flamingo themed wreaths. I've seen flip-flop. Watermelon. Patriotic theme is always a popular one. The farmhouse theme is really popular too. So I am running, this is my wreath shop, you guys. This is actually the garage of my home. It is nothing fancy. And you probably can hear the fans in the background running because it's a little warm. Almost all the way around, you guys. Strawberry themed. Oh, beach themed. Absolutely. I know their Myrtle Beach location of Carolina Pottery has lots of the beach themed items in stock. They are, that's a fun store to go into. And let's see. I may have miscounted on one of the ribbons. So you see how I'm just alternating back and forth, adding different colors and combinations. Now mix it up so it doesn't have to be yellow and black. Again, it could be pink and green, it could be lavender and lime green, whatever your favorite color is. I'm going to cut one more piece because I either lost one or miscounted. So I'm just cutting them 14 inches long. So tulip is really pretty too. I've seen flamingo ribbon at Carolina Pottery. Watermelon ribbon is at Carolina Pottery. Y'all, just to warn you, my dog probably will bark because I think we're getting a FedEx delivery. All right, moving around. Told you I'm out of my house. That's what happens when you're working out of your house. You just have life get in the mix of it. All right, y'all. How cute is this? Isn't this cute? I mean, if you did nothing else, this would be a cute wreath for your front door. Can you imagine how cute that would look on your door? You can see it's got the depth to it. Here is what it looks like on the back. So, so fun. Now what I want to do is add in our sign. So this is going to be the next thing we're going to add in. And I'm going to twist this onto the frame, not the mesh. We're going to twist it onto the frame. I usually just find the center and then twist. So let's say I'm going to twist it around this set of needle ties. I'm going to reach under and make sure I capture that frame. I'm going to move it around to the other side. And I'm not going around the whole frame, just the inner circle, just the inner part. I'll turn it over when I get it attached and I'll show you. So if you joined me at the beginning, you saw how I prepared the sign so that we can easily just twist it on and wire it to our wreath. So here is the back. So you can see where we've attached it right here to the wreath frame, right here to the wreath frame. So it's the inner frame. All right, so we've done that. And now let me show you what we've got. How cute! Isn't this cute? So you can use this right here for your door. So you could stop right here if that's all you want to do. Another layer done, right? So you can see the theme here. We're just layering elements on top of elements to get a cute, cute design. Thanks for the heart. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is add our florals. So we've got all of these really pretty florals. And I'm going to trim these off the bush. I don't think I'm going to use this green, the leaves. I think I'm going to just push those down and not use those. All right, so I'm going to measure off about 3 inches, 4 inches. Again, here are the supplies. So I love these petunias. I've seen them in the hot pink too at the store. Again, Carolina Pottery has got 4 locations. They've got Smithfield, North Carolina, Augusta, Georgia. West Columbia is where a lot of you see me shopping for all the things. And then they've got a Myrtle Beach location. So they're adding more of their silk flowers to their online store. All right, so we've got these trimmed off. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim off the, they're just calling it a fern bush. So this is plastic, which I love plastic. Now back in the day when they used to make plastic, it's not the same as what they make plastic now. It's very, it looks real, very authentic. And this is going to be just a little long, I believe, for my wreath. Well, it depends on the look you're looking for. So I think I'm going to go ahead and trim some of it. So this is really nice that you can divide it. So I love when I find greenery that's easily dividable. Look, I don't even know if that's a word, dividable. Probably not, but it is now. Just keeping it real. All right, so look, you could take it and just divide it. And so now I've got that one stem becomes two, right? And I just like to bend just a little bit to give it a realistic look. This is not hard once you get into the making of it. It's very fun. And you can't mess up, really. You cannot mess up. This is your creation. It's your work of art. Just have fun. Try new things. It's about the journey. It's about the crafting is just very soothing, healthy outlet. For me, I use it to get away from the stressful day, or when I like to do stuff for myself on the weekends. It's just crafting is fun. All right, so here we have our flowers and we have our greens divided. So what I think I'm going to do is put this up on my wreath easel. Probably need a hanger. I'm just going to put, you don't have to have a wreath hanger, but because our poofs are so thick, sometimes the door hanger can't find the frame because the poofs are so thick. So all I'm going to do is just add a quick little wreath hanger back here. It's just going around the wreath frame. And then did you see me just about drop it on the floor? That's why I like to wire the sign in, because it will probably fall off the door. If you've got teenagers like me, they like to slam the door. All right, so I'm just going to go through and look at my ribbon. I like to fluff it out if it got mashed. And then I'm opening it up just a little bit so that I can see my sign more. So the first thing I'm going to do is add my flowers. I'm just going to, there's no rhyme or reason. There's no right way or wrong way to add them. Just do whatever feels fun to you. I typically start on one side and then I'll go and add on the other opposite side. That way I know that I'm sort of balancing out the color and I'm evenly dispersing my flowers. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just start here. And to do that, I am going to take the twist tie that I have on the wreath. I'm going to make just a little circle. So there's a hole that I made with the twist tie, and that is where the flower is going to go in. So you might not be able to see it, but it's going into that little hole that I just created. So that hole is going to catch all of the glue. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick it right in there. So that's where we've got our first flower added. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the opposite side. Brenda's saying I need to go to the Augusta store. Thanks, Becky, and welcome. So we've got one here and one over there. Now our eye doesn't focus on one thing, it starts to look at all of the wreath as a whole. So I'm gonna go over here and let's do one over here. See how we're starting to disperse it around? So now let's do a little bit on the outer ring. Again, you don't have to add the flowers if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. I've made deco mesh wreaths with ornaments, with flowers. So whatever you want to add to your wreath is completely up to you. So we've got one more, and I'm going to decide where to put that. I might just put it down here, or I can put it up there. We have added all of the yellow. Right, sometimes you just have to lift it up a little bit to see all of the wreath. All right, now what I do is, remember we had all of this fun greenery that was added to that flower bush. So I'm just going to go through and add that the same way. So there are some people who are very passionate about adding flowers to deco mesh wreaths. Some people just do not like it, but I say do what you like. So if I like it, I'm adding it. If you don't like it, you don't have to. It's completely up to you. I think our little, if anything falls off of your flowers, all you have to do is hot glue it back on, just like that. So let's do one over here. Beauty of adding it onto our twist ties also is that you can use the twist tie to essentially wire it in. So when I put it through the little loop, excuse me, I'm putting it to make sure that it goes behind the loop, in between the loops. And then you could just twist it a little bit tighter and it helps to wire it in. Excuse me, I need to get water. So hopefully, Tammy, that will help you, showing you how to do it that way, but just using the twist ties on the wreath. So now we've added that yellow bush. The complete yellow bush is added. I have one little flower that fell off, and I think I'll just hot glue him on right here. Okay, so we've got our yellow bush added. So you could stop right here, but no, I want to add greenery. We're going to add the greenery the same way. Just going to back and forth all over the wreath. You're going to see when you add this greenery, it's going to add a lot of texture. That's why I chose the greenery that has the long, airy stems. So I'm just moving back and forth, back and forth. Who's going to make a deco mesh wreath this weekend? I know they had other signs besides, if you're not a fan of the yellow and black welcome, they had other colors. Don't be afraid to use some other rustic looking sign. Cynthia's going to make one. So believe it or not, deco mesh has been around for years. And every year they add different colors. I think I've gone all the way around the outer ring with adding our greenery pieces. So I added, if you add everything in this wreath that I just did, it adds up to a little over $40. And if you were going to buy this already made online, it would be well more than that. So I'm all fan of making my own, and that's how I even got started myself, is just making it myself. So if you're crafty, this is an easy wreath for you to master. And you can make one for all the different seasons. Carolina Pottery has so many supplies all year round. Alright, so let me turn it and show you what we've got so far. So you could see where we've gone all the way around the outer ring with the greenery. And now all I want to do is add some greenery into the inner ring. So now we're filling it up. Cheryl made a pancake wreath. Now that would be interesting to see. Cheryl said she's going to do also a rustic hello sign with magnolias. That sounds really pretty in the rose. That does sound pretty. Go ahead and post the link one more time if you're looking for the supplies here. So this is the greenery that I've been raving about. I love this greenery. It's a fern. It's very airy. You can keep it long if you need some longer pieces, or you can see how I've cut it and divided it to make it go even further. One more piece. I'm just going to divide it a little bit more into two. The fern, it just said plastic fern, but if you click on the item number for the fern, oh, did I write that down? It is 13402GN. If you go to the carolinapottery.com website, search 13402GN. It should pop up if they've not sold out. Got there, we've got there. I'm just going to add one more piece right over here. And I think we're done. If you want to, you can always go back and trim some of your ribbon pieces if you want them to not be in front of your sign. I kind of like seeing my sign, so I don't want them to be too long in front of my sign. Let me turn it around and show you what we have, and then I want to show you how to make a matching bow for your mailbox with the ribbon that we've got left over. How cute is that? Isn't that adorable? You guys, this would look so cute on your door. How amazing. I love that. I hope you learned something from this. All right, so now what I want to show you what to do is we've got some extra ribbon, right? So I wanted to show you how to make a bow with some of that ribbon, because here in the South, we like to have things coordinate, don't we, ladies? We like to have a coordinating mailbox with our door. Just like our shoes need to match our handbags. So I'm going to show you how to make this cute bow. I used, Nicole, I used one of everything. One roll of each of the 2.5 and the 1.5 ribbon, one yellow petunia bush, one fern bush, one roll of mesh, and one wreath form. Everything was one. The ribbon tails were 14 inches long, Connie. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a bow. I hear a lot of people saying, I like to have those bows that have all of the different ribbons. And so you can see how this does coordinate with our wreath. And this would look so cute on your mailbox. All right, so we're going to do this. We got our 2.5 inch ribbon that we're going to use first. And I tell ladies, if you have arthritis or something like that and you can't hold it all in your hands, you can measure out what I'm going to show you and then put a clothespin on it and set it to the side. Measure out the next one, put a clothespin on it and set it to the side, and then put them all together when you're finished. All right, so let's get started on the bow. I'm going to measure out about 10 inches. All right, so this is going to be our bow tail. Right, so I've just measured out around 10 inches, and then I'm going to pinch it in my fingers, and then I'm going to lay this down. So I like to use a ruler or a mat. I'm sorry, I'm going to measure this out 12 inches. 12 inches. It's just easier when you're getting started to make your loops consistent if you use a ruler, but once you get the hang of it and start making bows with lots and lots, you don't really need to measure. But when I'm teaching bow making, I like to make sure that people know how to measure. All right, so this is what our first loop looks like. We've created a loop. We've got the front side of the ribbon facing us, which is our tail, and then we've got the back side of the ribbon facing front, which is the next loop that we're going to make. So what we're going to do is just lay it down. Again, measure out the same length, 12 inches. And then we're going to bring it to the front. So really, and then we're just going to feed it into our fingers. And this is what it should look like. So really, if you look to the side, it should look like a figure 8. I like this method because there's not a lot of pinching involved, which tends to cramp the hands. All right, so here is our first layer. A little bow tie, right? So now we're going to take our second 2.5 inch and do the same thing. So we've got about a 10-inch tail. Pinch it into our fingers. I'm just pinching it to the side. Lay down and measure 12 inches on the mat. We're going to bring this to the back. So now we've got our loop. Our tail has got the pretty side of the ribbon, and then the bottom is our next loop, and it should be the back of the ribbon. Lay it down on the mat, measure the 12 inches, and bring it up to the front. This is why I like to roll out a lot of ribbon, because it's just easier to work with there. And then we're just going to cut that off the bolt. Right, so now we've just basically have 2 loops on either side, just like that. Now we're going to move to our black and white. Do the same thing. Put this in our fingers, but instead of doing 12 inches, I'm going to measure this 10 inches. We're going to just come in a little bit more. There is no right way or wrong way to make a bow. I've seen it done so many different ways. I myself do it different ways. It's really what mood I'm in to what method I use. All right, so now we're bringing these up to the front. So we've got 2 loops, right? Just like that. So you see the pattern, it's just 2 loops. No twisting, Cheryl, correct, no twisting. All right, so now I'm going to show, I'll do a little slower on this last loop, this last bow added, what do you call it, addition. All right, we're going to measure out our 10-inch tail, so it's about 10 inches when you lay it down. We're going to feed it in to the fingers. So now we've got our tail here, and this is where we're going to start the loops. Measure down, the good side's facing upward, measuring it 10 inches, and I'm going to bring it to the back. Just twist it around to the back of my hand and feed it in. Sorry, I was up on the, not on the screen. Measure it down on the mat, and then I'm going to bring it to the back of my hand, just like that, and feed it in. And this is what we have. 1 loop, we've got our tail, which is the pretty ribbon, and then we've got this, the back side of this ribbon is going to be our 2nd loop. So I'm going to lay this down on the mat. The back side of the ribbon is facing upward. Measure out the 10 inches and then bring it to the front. And then trim. Right, so we're just going to position our loops. I like to put the tails to the back and the loops to the front. And then we're going to take florist wire. You can use a pipe cleaner if you want to, whatever you have on hand or feel comfortable using. I'm going to turn it over. And I don't have a very heavy, now the ribbon, I know we were pinching it through the fingers, but it's moved more towards the palm of my hand, and I don't have a death grip on it. When you start having hand cramps making your bows, it's because you're holding on too tight. You don't need to hold on too tight, just enough that the bows do not escape, if that's the word. All right, so I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to lift up my pointer finger and just put the florist wire underneath and bring it around to the front. And then I'm going to twist. So I'm twisting the bow. When you twist the bow, it makes it tighter around the bow. And this is when I start to just reposition the loops. So if I have a yellow on one side, I want a yellow on the other. If I have a bumblebee on one side, I want a bumblebee on the other. Just like that. Let's put their ribbon tails to the back. And now I'm just going to put one of the yellow on this side. And so that's how we've sort of evenly disperse all of the color. And you can dovetail the ends if you want. It's completely up to you. But now you have a really pretty bow for your mailbox. If you do, you could see we still have ribbon left over from our project. So you could do a bow for your lamp post, a bow for the lights on your front porch. You could do a bow to put inside of a planter. So you can take some of the ribbon that we've have left over and just keep making these bows. So if you have a mailbox, if you wanted to put one on one side and one on the other side and twist them together, you could do that, or you could just put one on the front. It's completely up to you. But there you have it. This is a whimsical, fun, multi-ribbon bow, easily for you to make, you guys. I know you can do this. Did you enjoy this? Y'all, I had so much fun crafting with you today. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to check out Carolina Pottery. Here is the link to all of the projects, now it's not pasting in. I've already posted it in here. But you've got the links to everything that I used, all of the supplies. So if you live in Indiana, you could go ahead and have it shipped to your house, and you can make this same really pretty wreath for your front door this summertime. Treat yourself for Mother's Day and make something pretty for yourself and enjoy the weekend crafting. I hope you had a fun time. I did. If I missed your question, I'll come back in here and answer it later. Sometimes I can't see it when I'm have my back to the comments. But you guys, thank you so much. Again, check out carolinapottery.com. If you have any questions, just comment below. Bye. Have a wonderful Mother's Day weekend.